Hello, you're very welcome to another in this series of Tipperary age-friendly videos. Today our focus is on LGBT and the services available across Tipperary. We're going to hear from Gerard, who is based in the Resource Centre in Clonmel, and he's going to give us an insight to the services on offer and the supports available to you. I hope you find this to be interesting and useful. Sit back, relax and enjoy. You're very welcome here today.
Thank you.
Just for our viewers, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, my name is Gerard Sweetman. I'm an LGBT plus health support worker. I'm employed by the Clonmel Community Resource Centre in Clonmel. And the project that I'm employed to do is the LGBT project, which is funded through the HSC Social Inclusion, CHO5. So I suppose in that, my role came from a report that was conducted in 2015, the Rainbow Report, in finding the health needs of LGBTI plus people in the southeast. My role began in 2016, and we began with a transgender adult support group, and that was we first went to put out to see what the need was, and it was. We're linking in with other people and on social media and with national organisations. A transgender support group was needed in the southeast. So we set up with support from TENI, which is the National Organisation for Transgender. We set up a monthly transgender adult support group, which is still running to date since 2016. That's on a monthly basis. I suppose around that group, what we would meet is anyone on a one-to-one basis first. So if someone contacted me or they were referred from another service, I would arrange to meet them just for a chat and see how they are. Because I suppose from when they make that phone call to the other service or to me or to the centre, getting them in, it could be 3 to 6 months later, but it's about keeping that contact and just saying, hi, you were meant to come in today. Oh, I couldn't make it in today. Okay, we'll arrange another day. And eventually they get in the door. And once they're in the door, then it's about finding what supports they need and helping them in their needs who are LGBT. So it could be linking them into other services such as substance misuse or mental health services or counselling. And we would, with permission from them, I'd link them in with other services within the HSC or private counselling or whatever it may be. So it's all about, I suppose, linking in with other services as well and keeping those networks that we can have the contacts to be able to connect people into. So the one-to-one is kind of, it's in a safe space. We have an office in the Clonmel Resource Centre. Upstairs, they just come in and I can either meet them downstairs or else they come up to the office and they know I've directed them to it. And then that's just myself and whoever that may be. And we have a chat, just a friendly chat of who they are, where they're at, what is it they need. Some, I suppose, need more support than others. Others, I suppose, some are isolated. They live alone. They just want to kind of meet other people for coffee and get involved with a group or something. Others then, I suppose, would need that bit more extra support around their mental health and their well-being and stuff. So it's about getting them supported through other things so they can then come into the groups and still be getting supported for their other stuff that's going on as well.
Yeah, and so then I'm just wondering, would say the older age group, will they also come and avail of your support and the services? And will they stay coming to the monthly meetings or gatherings? I
suppose one of the main issues that we've had is in rural Tipperary is transport. Travel for people. They'll contact and they say, and I'll tell them the time of the groups and whatever, and they'll say, I can get down, but I can't get home because buses aren't running or they don't drive, so they have no lift or whatever, so they can get an early bus down, but then by the time the group is over, they've no way home. So that stops them from getting to the support group. So that means I need to keep that contact with that person. And we're looking at ways of when we get back to face-to-face groups of, getting some sort of transport that we can do a collection point or something, hopefully down the line in kind of rural areas in Tipperary, if there's a need for it with the amount of people that we that contact me.
And do you offer then, you know, I know you said the monthly gatherings, but do you offer, say, I call them small workshops for want of a better word, you know, outside the Clonmel area, or is everything based within the resource centre at the moment?
No, I suppose at the moment we're all online, like everything with COVID,
that's true.
And adapting to that as well. But I suppose getting back to the older, you know, we mainly, I suppose I work with 18 plus, and you know, we mainly work, it's older, is who are in our groups. Now we have a mix of younger and older, and they work well together. We don't have big enough groups to separate those groups. But the older ones that, you know, that come, they link in, but again, they might, travel is a big thing. They could have been married or you know, and that they mightn't be out. So it's that fear of coming and not knowing who's in the group and things like that. So that's why I offered a one-to-one chat beforehand. So they have a friendly face and someone that they can see when they come into the group. Yeah. You know, because I suppose if they came into the group and they weren't out and they seen someone they knew, there's that fear. Yeah. But I always kind of say, you know, that person is there for the same support that you need, you know, and everything is kept in the room, stays in the room. It's private and confidential. And, you know, if that, thank God we've never had any issues with regards to confidentiality or anything like that. With Clonmel, we're based in Clonmel, but we have done events, health awareness events across Tipperary. Over a couple, 2018 and 2019, we did kind of health awareness events where we got others from other organisations, LGBT and health organisations and HSC, and we ran kind of events in 5 areas in Tipperary, north and south. And they were in great attendance, and that we also would link in with the schools. We've done a number of projects with a couple of schools around anti-bullying. We've done a poster event in 2018. We do art classes, so the social activity. I suppose I'm probably running off with myself now, but I suppose it's the groups would lead. What I say to the group members is it's their group. You know, it's not my group. I'm there to set up the groups and facilitate the groups, and we have 5 great volunteers that support us in the groups and in the events, and they're brilliant because I wouldn't be able to do everything myself, you know. So it's great that they offer that support, and most of them came for support themselves, still get that kind of one-to-one support, so that enables them then to be able to offer support in the groups. So I think it's great that they can come into the group needing support and then be able to build themselves up, that they're actually giving something back and helping someone else that's coming in after them. So I think that's the key part of it as well.
It just shows the success of it. And obviously the safe space that's offered.
Exactly.
That they say, now I've learned all this and I've come through this and here's who I am now, and I can now offer to somebody else because I can identify with them.
Exactly, and that's what we need, is that they can identify with who's coming in the door into the group next. Or I suppose with the transgender group, you know, we'd have Jane or Rebecca that would sit in the group, the one-to-one with me, with that person, because I know so much, but someone who is transgender or has lived experiences of it, they can talk more to. And sometimes I'm sitting back and they're having that conversation, which is fantastic because, you know, and you can see how they relate to someone that's been there, done that, and listened to the good and the bad.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think to have somebody like you that is willing to say, actually, I don't understand that part. Here's someone who does, and that will step in. I think that must also give a wonderful support to the person that comes in your door.
Exactly, because I suppose I always say I'm an LGBT support worker, but I don't claim to know everything. You know, I'll do my best to find out for you, and I'll get the supports that you need and that. But yeah, there's different terms every day, and we're learning every day, like everyone is, I suppose.
Yeah. If there was somebody watching this and they said, yeah, I think it's time for me to get some support, what's the next step? What would you advise them to do?
Yeah, I suppose, you know, is make the contact. It is hard to make that phone call or send that text message or send a message on social media. But I mean, what it is, they can phone, they'll get me on the mobile, or if they phone the resource centre, a message will be taken by reception. That's private and confidential. They don't have to give any information. They don't have to give a name. They can just give a number if they want to contact and say, for me to contact. We have a Facebook and Twitter page. The Facebook page is LGBT plus Health South Tipperary. The Twitter is at LGBTI South. We also then have phone numbers. The centre phone number is 05261 29143. And then the mobile number then, as I'm working from home now, so it would be the mobile, I suppose, more so our social media or email. The mobile is 085 854 1514. And then I'm on email then as well as Gerard@clonmelcrc.ie.
Brilliant. And we'll put those up on the screen as well for anybody.
Yeah, perfect.
So to reach out and connect with you. And one other thing I'm just thinking, I suppose, because we're looking at age friendly as well, do you find that more of the older generation are becoming, I suppose, is it more confident to come forward and say, can I get some support?
I think we know, that, people are coming more and more, and we're seeing people, I suppose years ago, people couldn't be who they truly are and be themselves, and they may have to get married or move away and things like that. Now, some people are starting to come. We're not fully there yet. There's a lot more work to do. And in rural areas, I think, it's especially hard, because if you're living in a small village or small area where you're not out or that, and you want to be yourself, and and you want to kind of meet people that are the same as you, and just for a coffee or just support or chat, or do some activities such as art or go to an event or something like that. So, is to reach out, because we're there. And it's great that we are there, and the supports are there for people that need it most, and that hopefully that they will reach out. And if they make a call, and I'm not there, I will call them back. I'll contact them back, and we'll link them in with other services if that needs be as well. But it's just to know that it's a friendly, confidential, welcoming environment in the groups, in the art classes that we do. Any events we do, you don't have to do all those. You can just come to the support group, that's fine. Yeah. You can just get one-to-one support, that's fine. It's just make that connection and link in and get that support, and don't feel isolated or alone, I think.
And I think when listening to Jane earlier on, and even listening to you, you've really reinforced this, is that it's a gathering in a space. It is just come and be yourself, and just a human being coming in the door.
Exactly, yeah. It's just be you. And anyone that's there is there to support and listen. It's a support, it's a support group, but it's also a form of social activities where you can make new friends, go for that coffee we organise events through the support groups. I suppose I would ask every year, what do you want from the group? What would you like to be doing this year? So it might be bowling, it might be baking, it might be going to the cinema, going for dinner, things like that. And I would organise as much as we could for that year. Yeah. Obviously with COVID-19, we've had to move everything online, and our groups have moved online, and we do the phone swap, but the services are still there. Our groups are online. We do one-to-ones online on phone, and we have WhatsApp groups set up for the group members that are involved as well. So they just chat amongst themselves in the WhatsApp group. I don't even have to. I put in everything that we do, I suppose, into the WhatsApp group when the groups are on and things like that. And then they chat about themselves and put in pictures of cakes that they make, or if they've been out for a walk, they take pictures. So it's about all that connecting in still, even though we can't be face to face. And we will get back to it. It's not going to be forever. We're still making that connection and trying to keep everyone connected in, whether it's from the phone, text, email, or online kind of Zoom kind of groups. Making that connection and making them not feel alone, I suppose.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely amazing what you do, and just that comfort to know when I go in the door, it's confidential.
Yeah.
There's someone there who understands, and there's somebody there who will say, come on, let's see, what do you need?
Let's have a chat. It's not an interview, it's a chat.
It's a chat.
It's just having a coffee and a chat, and make me feel relaxed. You can say as little or as much as you want to say.
And hearing their need.
And just hearing them, and then I just go from there and ask them what is their needs, and if they don't want to share or if they need other supports, we'll link them in as much as we can.
That sounds absolutely incredible. I've learned so much from you. Gerard, it's a fantastic service.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a million for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us for today's video. I hope you found the information useful and helpful. The services across the county are really amazing, and as everybody interviewed today has said, access them. They're there to support you and help you in any way that they can.